Hello, hello, and welcome to the end. You made it. We're almost done. I know you're excited. So this semester has been so much, so kudos to you for making it through to the end. So I wanted to talk to you just a little bit about the oral component. I know that a lot of you are plowing through those synthesis essays. I've talked with a lot of you and I've met with a lot of you. So I wanted to give you a few pointers on the presentation that you'll be doing. So first of all, I'm going to take off my glasses because they're reflecting and I can't quite see my eyes and that's a little distracting. So first of all, when you do your presentation, you do want to make sure that your camera is in good enough shape that the person on the other end will be able to see you well. And you want to try to, remove things that are wicked distracting from your background. I am, yes, in my living room. There's some, you can see my daughter's toy trumpet behind me and the Christmas tree and stuff, but nothing too crazy. Also, I understand we're limited on where we can go right now and what we can do. So if the only place you can be is, shut up in your kid's bedroom for 20 minutes to work on things while they're watching TV, I get it. It's fine. Make sure that you look somewhat professional. I'm not telling you have to dress up and put on a suit or anything like that. But I've had students give presentations lying down in bed and that comes across really weird. So, be upright. That's a starting point. So ordinarily, when I talk to students about doing these presentations in person in the classroom, we talk about standing up, maybe at a podium, maybe using notes, and what to do with our hands. I'm a hand talker, as some of you have noted. But it's a little bit different when we're doing it here on the internet. So remember, you've got a couple of options. You can absolutely record the presentation and upload it to YouTube and send me the link. Please remember to set it to public or unlisted. If you set it to private, only you can see it. If you set it to unlisted, only someone with the link can see it. I'll also mention if it bugs you to have a video on YouTube, you can always take it down after I get my grading done. So once, final grades are in, you can always go bounce it, but people aren't going to find it or see it, and I'm the only person with the link. So don't really have to worry about that if you set it to unlisted, but make sure you don't set it to private. Every semester, at least one student does, and then I can't see the video, and I'm trying to get in final grades and trying to track down the students. So please make sure it is public or unlisted. So that's your first option. That's what most students do. The other thing you can do is you can set up an appointment with me to do your presentation through Collaborate. So we do it right there in the moment, and you'd have it done. Some students prefer that because they like, having a person they can see on camera on the other side reacting. I know that one of the things we look for when we're giving a presentation is the audience response. And as from someone who's been teaching to what feels like the darkness for over a semester, my students don't turn their cameras on in class. So I'm just talking to the big black square and Collaborate. So some students feel better if they can have somebody on the other side. That said, a lot of students really like the YouTube option because they can start over again if they screw up. They're not as nervous because nobody's directly in front of them. So do whichever feels good to you. I will say, if you want to do the Collaborate by appointment option, please contact me soon so that I can make sure I block off some time for you. As far as when, those can be done Thursday, Friday, Monday. So if you want to do that, just let me know so I can block the appointment. So some pointers, as I promised. If you're sitting, sit up straight. If you're standing, stand up straight. I usually stand when I do these videos. I'm just really lazy today, so I'm sitting down. Make sure that whatever camera you are working with is stable. I know sometimes students do these on their phones, and that's totally fine, but make sure you got it propped so it won't fall down in the middle of your presentation. Make sure to check your audio and video before you start recording. It's incredibly frustrating to do your presentation and get to the end and find out there was no sound, so I don't want that to happen to you. Make sure that you have notes, all right? Do not read your paper in the video. It's incredibly obvious when people do this. I recommend keeping some notes. I'm working with a multiple monitor situation at home, so a lot of times when I do videos for you all, I'll put my notes on the second screen and I'll look over and look back at you and talk. I'm not just sitting here reading that. The next thing we're going to talk about is like that doesn't work. The idea is to engage with the audience. Now, that said, it's okay if you lose your place or you forget what you're saying next. You can say, oh, let me pause for a moment, or you can just take a silent moment to collect yourself. One thing to consider, eye contact isn't exactly a thing, but you do want to look at the camera. Typically, when you give a speech in person, you're going to sort of look around the room at all of the people who are there and make kind of sweeping eye contact and taking some time to make eye contact with individuals. I'm sort of acting this out like I would if we were in a classroom. But if you look at one person and you stare at them for a really long time, they can get uncomfortable. That said, since you're working with a video camera, you can kind of just talk to the camera. Work on verbal fillers. I am bad for these, as you have probably noted in our videos. I say a lot. It's better to pause and be silent if you can. Hands can be a great tool, or they can get in the way. If you feel like you get way too active and it starts to get into air traffic controller territory, since we're on camera, you can just put them down. In a normal in-person environment, I would say, hold on to the lectern, but don't act like you're about to, fly it into space, or use your hands to hold notes. And you can certainly do that in the video. Now, I'm not looking for high production value. I'm not asking anything more from you than what you get from me, which are these unscripted, I have a stack of notes, let's talk about things kind of videos that I do. I don't do editing mainly because I don't have the time to do it with the volume that I'm doing. If you want to do that, you can, but I'm absolutely not requiring it. You don't have to have a fancy background. You don't need a green screen. Just do the thing, okay? So don't stress yourself out about it. I know a lot of people have anxiety around public speaking. I'm lucky in that I got thrown into doing it a lot in high school. I did extemporaneous public speaking where they would give me my topic. I can't remember if it was an hour or a half hour before my speech, and I would have to create a speech in that amount of time and then go in and give it. And that got me over a lot of my jitters really quickly. But I know that everybody hasn't had that experience, and it can be a little intimidating. But please understand, I just want you to try and do your best. And it's okay if this is not your thing. I understand. It's not everybody's thing. So I'll drop in with another sign off before it's all over with, but thank you for your efforts this semester. I know people have had a variety of challenges. I know that this has not been an easy go for anyone. People in this class have started new jobs, have dealt with illness, have had kids. It's been a lot, and I appreciate that you stuck it out and that you put the work in, and a lot of you have reached out for help when you needed it, and that is incredibly important. And if that's something you didn't do, please do that in future classes. We don't want you to struggle on your own, okay? I hope you all have a wonderful holiday break, whatever that looks like for you. I know it's a weird one this year, but hopefully you can get some rest. Hopefully you can do some of whatever it is that you like to do. I'm going to bake and read and maybe be lazy, maybe take some walks. I don't know. But first I got to grade all this stuff. So y'all take care. If you need help, please get in touch.